Hi everybody, here's a little bit of a different video around watches. I'm going to try to skinny down my collection into two buckets and then probably get rid of some. So what I wanted to do was go from, what do I got? 24 plus another 27 plus two more watches on the way. So I'm going to have almost 30 watches. And I wanted to skinny it down to just a nicer, more manageable collection. And then some of the ones I bought just because I thought they were cool, thought they would be neat. Maybe I just don't wear them that much. I'll probably let some of those go. So I'm gonna go through each of these. I've got the one I'm wearing, the Orient. I've got this whole case. And you say, oh, there's some Casios, but there's Seikos, there's G-Shocks, there's Tissot, there's Citizen, there's Bulova, there's Longines, there's Victorinox. So there's, decent watches. There's nothing exotic or super expensive. I don't have a Rolex or anything like that. And then I've got, an Invicta over here, a Ducati watch, and then another G-Shock. So, and I'm going to sort them by, and I understand only if someone has a collection. I'm probably going to even care about this, so, about how I sort my watches. I don't even know if I'll get any views. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Just go through my thought process of how my collection is evolving. I do want to get some higher end pieces. I started with my first luxury brand, but it was entry level, which was the Longines. But I kind of want to get it down to instead of just having like all these watches that I don't wear, let me get some nicer pieces, or at least just skinny it down to the ones that I really like and I actually get enjoyment from and I actually take the time to wear and stuff. So not all of my picks here are going to go just based on price or by brand. So as I transfer them to the Keep, this will be my nicer set. And as time goes on and I grab a Tudor, I grab an Omega, probably one or two of these will swap out. I'll get rid of one to get one as I try to grow the collection into a nicer collection as time goes on. Only been doing this a few months, so bear with me. So some of the ones I know absolutely, well, the Longines. This is the Conquest 43 millimeter. It's a nice heavy watch with 43 millimeter. I did go with the quartz because I know if you're a watch aficionado, you're supposed to only like automatics. I like quartz because when you have a bunch of watches, you don't get to wear a lot of them as often. I'm constantly having to go and set the time and date. But this Longines is a quartz, but man, it is gorgeous. Beautiful oyster style bracelet, nice and heavy, little bit chunky. It's a little big boy. It's a 43, but I'm a big dude. So it's got a nice butterfly clasp, and I was able to get it dialed in perfectly for my wrist size in the nice blue. It's a kind of a muted blue, but in the sun, it goes kind of pops. So very, very nice. I like this one a lot. That one, obviously, I'm going to keep. Another one I'm going to go in the good box, if you will, is going to be one from Citizen. And I've got a few Citizen watches. Maybe the other one I pick for the good box will surprise you. But I've got the ProMaster Diver chronograph. These go for about $4.25. They're not that expensive. What I like about it is it's got a nice 200-meter water resistance. The Longines, I keep putting an S on the end. I sound like an idiot when I do that. Longines. This one's 300, by the way. Screw down crown, screw down back. This is screw down back, screw down crowns on all of them, including the chronograph, so you don't accidentally push it underwater, because that sometimes can be where water gets in when you push the button under pressure. But this is a nice, really sharp, solar powered. So maybe every 15 years or so, I'm gonna have to throw a new battery in it. It'll charge off from any light source. And you get like 6 month power reserve. So if you're in the dark for 6 months, you'd still have a good working watch. Got good lume, calendar, just the date, but it is an eco drive. It's a very nice watch. It's substantial. It's got a nice clasp. The micro adjust is nice when this thing is, you can pull these little buttons here and the thing will basically click out just a little bit at a time. So if you wanted to micro adjust it one click, you can just do that and then push it in when you're done. So that one I'm definitely keeping. I do wear this one a good bit. I like it a lot. Citizen it's a good quality brand. Nothing wrong with Citizen. It's proper Japanese movement and all that good stuff. And I like the idea of having, solar. So only got 12 spots in here, and I have to keep it open for at least one. So I've really only got 11 spots because the Live watch that's coming tomorrow, I think is going to end up staying in here. So I've got another Citizen. This is a weekender. I threw, because it's got a little bit of orange highlights on it, on the dial. I threw the orange NATO strap on it. And I think this is a really sharp watch. It's clean, it's nice, it's retro 70s. It is also solar powered. I want to keep it in this box as my go-to, where my collection is going to go. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to. I like the idea of it. It is a beautiful watch. It is quartz. It's accurate. It's solar. It's all the things I like, and I do like it. But if I've got to narrow the collection down, I think I'm going to put this one back. That one's not going to come. Whether I just keep it as in my second tier box, or I give it away, I don't know. Another Citizen. Now, this is an $85 watch. It's a Citizen quartz. It's a measly 100-meter water resistance. Might not even be that. What the hell one is this? This is, Jesus, I don't even remember. Does it say on it? No, it is 100. Okay, so it's 100-meter water resistance. It's a basic kind of Jubilee. It does have solid links, from what I can tell. They all look solid. It has decent weight. This is an $85 watch. I'm keeping this one. This isn't all about price of, oh, I'm just going to keep the more expensive ones. I like the look of this. This is a nice, dressy, sporty watch. You could wear it to a wedding. You could wear it to the office. It's $85 off Amazon. It's Citizen, so it's a good company. And I think it looks pretty damn good. Like, that's a fairly nice looking watch. It'll keep good time, change the battery every few years. Even though this one costs half what the other one costs, I'm gonna keep this one. This one's gonna go in the keeper case for sure. I just think it's a nice watch. It's got micro adjustments and something about it. It's not always about the brand. It's not always about the price. Look at this one. This one's staying. This one's going in this box. So might as well go ahead and throw that in there now while we're talking. This is an Orient, owned by Epson Seiko. It's the smaller, cheaper brand of Seiko. Not that Seiko's super expensive, although you can go spend $6,000 on a Seiko if you want. You can certainly spend more on a Grand Seiko. But it's an automatic movement. You got a clear back. It's $180, but it's beautiful. It's got, again, that Jubilee style bracelet. This one is not a butterfly, but when it's closed, it has the look of the butterfly. You don't have this giant flat clasp taking up. So I like the way that this thing goes on really quick in just one snap and boom, you're done. You're not futzing around with the strap, the butterfly style, but it has that more polished look. And this is what Kevin O'Leary talks about on some of the watches, where you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a good quality watch. When I look at this, especially in the sun, that vivid blue, this just makes me happy. This is just a really nice, pretty watch that when I look at it, I'm like, I like this watch. I like wearing it. I like looking down at it. There's something just very timeless and clean, and the blue and the way it sparkles. It's just a nice looking watch. I just enjoy it. And that's the thing. It's like I like Ducatis, but there's other bikes I've had Yamahas where I'm like, this is just a cool bike. It's not always about the brand name and the perceived prestige or any of that stuff. So I've got two Tissot's, and both of them are going to stay. Absolutely. I've got the Chrono XL, again with chronograph XL. I think this is a 45 mil. It's a big boy. This one is battery powered. It is quartz movement. It's 100-meter water resistance. Again, nice, solid oyster style bracelet. This one does have a standard clasp. It's got 5 micro adjusts, so you can really dial that in. But that is just a very beautiful, really nice, big, kind of manly watch. And it's got a nice chronograph on it. The blue is it's just a beautiful watch. I look down at this. I wear this one a lot too. I'll switch watches sometimes during the middle of the day, just for the hell of it, just to have something different on my wrist. That's a big, bold, beautiful watch that, again, you can wear for a lot of different purposes. So it could be casual, you can dress it up, you can dress it down. We are keeping that. My other Tissot, it's called a T-Race. If you're a fan of motorsports and you watch MotoGP, you will notice Tissot banners all over the damn track on race day because they're the official timing vendor for those events. And so they've done a nice, it's very beautiful on the back. It's got a really interesting strap. It ain't gonna pull off because it's actually screwed on and things. Now the downside is the way this thing mounts is you're pretty much stuck with their band system. So I probably need to get a spare one just to have it. I'd like to get one in red. I got to see if I can buy. In fact, note to self, future Dave, go in there and go to their website and see if you can order a parts and see if I can get a red band for this because they offer it in both. But I like it because the outer bezel is made to look like a disc, like a brake rotor on a motorcycle. And then the crown guard is actually made to look like a set of brake caliper. Or not a set, I guess just a brake caliper. But it's very beautiful. This one has, I think, 100-meter water resistance. It's just a press-on back. But it's also very battery-powered. It's got a nice chronograph with nice big buttons that say start, stop, reset, just in case you couldn't figure out which one's which. It's a beautiful, comfortable, really nice watch. It's got a little bit of heft to it. There's a good bit of metal on here, but that's just staying. Absolutely staying. That's a beautiful, beautiful watch. Got to keep the Tissot. Now, some other shoe-ins. My Victorinox. Victorinox Field Force. Got to keep this one. It's one of my newer watches, but it's just a great, great, beautiful, clean watch. It's typical Swiss precision. Yeah, it's got the butterfly clasp, which is a little more fussy, but look at that. That is just a beautiful field watch, but it's bigger. I have a problem with field watches. In fact, some of the ones aren't making cut. My Bertucci A2T, beautiful titanium, screw-down crown, 200-meter water resistance. I threw on a nice red Mr. Wonderful style red NATO strap. Great little watch, too small for my wrist. It's not staying. I've got a Veyer, which is a U.S. Owned company. This, I don't know if these were Swiss made or not. Makes a nice little watch. Nice field watch. It's beautiful. Threw a green NATO strap on there. It's just too small for my wrist. 40s and field watches are just a little too small on my wrist. For a dude my height and size, it makes it look like I've got a girl's watch on. That's not making the list. This is a 42. And it's beautiful. Again, similar theme here. Really nicely polished, well done oyster style band. Beautifully machined. I guess it could be a little shinier if I took all the damn plastic off. Hold on. Didn't even catch that. Yeah, there's some extra pieces of that plastic on there. Huh. I've been wearing it for a week with all that shit on there. Who knew? This is where the real watch snobs can be like, you fucking noob. So, yeah, apparently there's some more protective film on here, so this is even going to be shinier and prettier. In any case, what have I got here? Just a really nice Victorinox field watch. These things retail for between $400 and $500, depending on which model, color, finish, whether you get the steel bracelet, whether you get the leather bands and stuff. But I mean, look at that. Very beautifully machined, now that I got the shit off of it, the protective film. Just a really nice clasp. And it's a butterfly clasp, but it's got that extra click to kind of lock it in. But beautiful. Day of the week and the date. That's just a nice watch. That's beautifully done, really well executed. Hell yeah, that one's staying in my collection. So what are we up to now? Well, we've got 7 in the box of 12, and we still have the one coming tomorrow that I'm pretty sure is going to stay in that box. So I've really got to come up with, 4 more. This is getting tough now. I'm going to keep my Bulova Marine Star. Why? Oh, it's a Bulova. Bulova makes a good watch. They're owned by Citizen. It's a quality watch. Again, it's not a Rolex, not a Tudor, it's not a TOG, not an Omega, but it's a nice watch. Very accurate, nice chronograph, and I love that orange dial. The face makes it, man. Yeah, it's a beautiful, it's a pretty nice bracelet, but it just looks good. The case is nice. It's all well done. But that dial, I see that, and I'm like, God damn, that's a good-looking watch. And that's kind of what it's all about. It's like they all tell time, right? It's not like one's going to be magically so much better than the others. Bulova, another one, Moonwatch. I feel like I have to keep this. This is a hell of a rich story. This was the competitor to the Omega Moonwatch. So this is the Bulova Lunar Pilot. This watch, not this one, but the Lunar Pilot was a prototype that was submitted by Bulova to NASA to try to win the contract for their pilots and astronauts and all that stuff for it to be the official issued watch. Back then, you had to have very accurate timekeeping and be able to time things, and your oxygen and re-entry, all that stuff had to be calculated. They didn't have iPhones and computers, right? The computer back then was basically a calculator that was about the size of my house. So they needed accurate timekeeping. And astronaut David Scott on Apollo 15, his Omega, the one that won the contract, broke. The sapphire lens popped out. He had one, Bulova had gifted him one of their prototypes. He had it on him, brought it with him under his personal effects. You're allowed to bring so much personal things with you into space. He brought it as a backup. And as a result, this watch went on the moon. This watch he recently sold out of his collection in 2019, I think, or 2016, whatever, recently, for $1.625 million. And Bulova said, maybe we should make that again. So they did. It's just a beautiful watch. It's got the 262 hertz frequency crystal. It's accurate to within maximum deviation of 10 seconds per year. It's up there with a Grand Seiko spring drive. It's phenomenal. Not great water resistance, only 50 meters, so I gotta be careful jumping in the pool with it. But I put the Mr. Wonderful red strap on it, and this is a fantastic watch. This is staying in the collection. This has a great history. Bulova as a company has an interesting history, and certainly the story of Apollo 15 and this particular model has an interesting story. So we're gonna keep that. So now I've got to come up with two more watches out of, let's just move all these all into one case now. We've got Invictas. Yeah, they're not making the cut. I've got some Seikos. I think the Seiko is going to have to be one, but I've got all these other things. And so I feel like I've got two spots left. I've got my Ducati watch. There's still a Citizen. There's another Bulova here. And this is what's killing me, trying to get this down to 12 watches, why I have to have an overflow with some second level, is my Precisionist. Now, this is not a super expensive watch. It's $225. But again, it's beautiful. It's got a nice leather band and accuracy to within 10 seconds per year. This uses that 262 hertz crystal setup. It's one of the most accurate watches you can buy as far as timekeeping goes. And the thing I really like about this, look at the second hand. Notice it's not choppy. It's a smooth, sweeping second hand on a quartz watch that is accurate to 10 seconds per year, which means its deviation is less than 1 second per month. Oh, that's a really nice watch, and I kind of want to keep that. But I feel like I've got to have one Seiko and one G-Shock. Now, I've got a Seiko Essentials. It's a nice, cool-looking watch. It's kind of fun and festive to wear, but it's not. It's a little busy on the dial. It's kind of hard to read sometimes, but it's neat. It's a nice little watch for $140. It's a Seiko. It's decent. It's not going to make the cut. The 5 Sport dive style watch, I do like. This one is an automatic. This one does have an open back. The date is off because I haven't worn it since Thursday, which is what happens with automatics if you don't have a self-winding thing. But it's just a nice watch. It's a Seiko. It's just a good, dependable, workhorse kind of sport watch that you could dress up or dress down with. I feel like I got to have that. I feel like I need to have that one in there. Oh, this is hard, though, because that Bulova is a really cool watch, too. So, knowing I've still got the Live watch coming tomorrow, which may... I think I'm going to end up going in this box because if it's as beautiful as it looks and it's as well made as they say it is, it's got to have a spot in here. But you've got to have a G-Shock in your collection of go-to watches, right? So I've got a bunch of them. I got this one. I don't remember the numbers. I don't know if that's a 6900. I've got this one that's got the... They're all got 200-meter water resistance, but this one is solar, which is nice. It's a bit chunky and over-engineered. Got the extra layer that the Casio doesn't have. And obviously I got a Casio as well, which is a great design. This one also has, as a survivalist kind of watch, if shit hit the fan or you're out hunting in the woods, this one's got a built-in compass and a temperature gauge, which is really kind of cool. Like from a utility perspective of my G-Shocks, this is the one I've got to have. Except it's not the one I reach for every freaking time I go for a watch. before I go for a G-Shock. The one that I go for is the cheaper one. Said it wasn't always going to be about price. You got to have a G-Shock in your collection, so it's got the good protection. I like the fact that it's got the light button there. It's, you know, got multi-time zones. It's got a stopwatch. It's waterproof to 200 meters, but it's got quick detach bands, unlike the others that you have to get, you know, converter links and some weird adapters and things like that. This one has quick removal. This is the one I reach for. That splash of color, the size, the style, the yellow hands. Yeah, I got to change the battery every few years. It's not solar powered. I'm going to keep this one for if, you know, if I am hunting or doing something where I need solar, you know, whatever. I maybe need a compass. It's nice. You got your Swiss Army knife and stuff in your pocket. Nice to have a compass in case you get lost in the woods or something. But I think as far as G-Shocks go, I'm going with one of the cheaper ones that's not solar. That one kind of surprised me, but when I just thought about which one do I typically go for, had to be that. So, where do we land? Longines Conquest, two of my 3 Belovas, 2 Citizens, 425 and one for 85. Pro Diver, and then whatever that classic is. My 2 Tissos, Victorinox, an Orient up there. Let's go ahead and put the Orient next to the Seiko because they're sisters. And then we got the G-Shock, and hopefully we're gonna have the Liv in there. So those are my choices. That's gonna be the core of my watch collection, and then I'm gonna get rid of a bunch of these. So the ones I think I'm gonna actually give away to people and get rid of, we're gonna put them in the big box here and just leave them in there, and I'm gonna give those away at some point. And then I'm gonna move the ones that didn't make the cut for the first tier, but there's some that I'm gonna wanna keep and maybe not give away, okay? One of those is gonna be my Orient Cano. This is just a nice dive watch. I like the red dial. In some ways, I like it more than the Seiko, but it doesn't have an open back despite being an automatic. And the Seiko was a little more money, and I think the Seiko is probably the little bit better watch, the better movement. But I kind of like the looks of this one a little better, so I was really torn on whether to go with the Seiko or the Orient. So I'm gonna keep the Orient over here, and we'll see if over time, if I don't end up swapping that one in. The Bulova Precisionist dress watch, super accurate. Oh yeah, absolutely. We are keeping that one in the whatchamacallit box here. This is going to be second string. Going to keep that one because that's still a nice watch. I might give it away at some point. I'll see how often I wear it. These are the watches that they're basically in a holding pattern. That's what my second tier is, to see which ones I end up deciding to keep in the long run. And if I don't, then I'll sell them or give them away to people or whatever. All right, the Citizen, yeah, this one is going to go second tier because I do like it, just not enough to make it in that first string. But I think I'm going to keep this around for a little bit, and I'm going to see if I end up ditching it. If I don't find myself wearing it over the next couple months, that one's going to be out. So that's a good analogy, holding pattern. That's what this other box is going to be for. Some of these will end up being keepers, but some of them are not. The big boy for the G-Shocks, we're going to keep that one. That one, even though this is my limbo box, I'm trying to decide what to do. This will be one of the ones that I ultimately keep, even if it just goes in a drawer for the one time I go hunting or go somewhere I need it. I just think that's a beautifully rugged, awesome watch to have. So we're gonna try to keep that one. The Ducati watch, you know what? Just because I got 2 Ducatis in the garage and this is a nice watch, I'm gonna keep this one for now. We're gonna put this one into the holding pattern. But honestly, I've got friends that have Ducatis, and if I find that I don't wear this one much, it's a nice enough watch. I did get it accidentally because I thought it was a chronograph. I didn't read it. I just looked at the dials, and it's not. That's for different time zones. You can set them whatever you want just by pushing buttons. So I have it to have it, but not sure if it's going to keep. You know, I've got these Casio Duros. I think they're good to have. I've got one with the blue, and then I've got the Pepsi. I think I'm going to put the Pepsi in the, I'm going to keep this in limbo, and I'm just going to give away the other one. Why? I just don't need two of the same watch in between the two. I like the Pepsi version better. I think it looks a little nicer. But other than that, they are identical. So they're both nice little watches. And for $50 to have a good, reliable Casio that'll keep time and have 200-meter water resistance, that's a watch you can wear, and it looks fairly nice and fancy. It's not until you get up close and you're like, oh, it's Casio. But for between the band and, I mean, it's less than $100 for that watch. And, you know, if you lose it or trash it or something, it won't be that big of a deal. My Casio Edifice is, especially now that it's on the NATO strap, is a nice looking watch. I just don't find myself ever wearing it. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I'm not sure about that. The Casio I'm going to let go. This one, I'm going to let go for sure. I just, you know, there's only so many G-Shocks you need. So I've got my yellow one that I wear all the time, and then I've got my super heavy-duty one with the compass. I'm going to keep that one as the backup. I guess that's why I can look at these as backups. Let's see. Is there anything else here that's jumping out at me that I feel like has to be in the second string? You know, this Seiko's okay, but I think I'm going to let that one go. I've got an Invicta, and I'll tell you one thing I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep this Omega Homage. I've got another Pagani coming that's a Tudor Black Bay, and these are going to be placeholders for when I go get a Seamaster and a Tudor Black Bay. That way I get to wear them, enjoy the style, and then at some point I will make myself go and spend the money to get those watches themselves, the legit ones. So for that reason, I'm going to put this one over there. This is a nice watch. It's got Seiko guts. You can say, oh, it's a Pagani, it's an Omage. Yeah, but it's basically a Seiko with a Pagani case. It's a nice looking watch, and it's well finished and well executed. Nothing wrong with it, in my eyes. My Veyor, I'm going to let that one go. I'm going to let my Bertucci go. I'm going to keep the Invicta, this one, just because I like the 43 mil. And I just got this one, but it's just a nice 200 meter. When I say nice, I mean, it looks nice, and, you know, it's quartz, it's accurate. And that, again, I'm keeping my homages as placeholders for when I talk myself into going and spending stupid money on watches and go get one of those other ones. You know, get a good commission check, and I'm going to go treat myself, not yourself. And so that's what I'm going to do with those. So I've got a spot in there, then I can throw the other homage that's coming. I'm going to let this Invicta go. This is another Pro Diver, but it's the smaller one. And it's a little too gaudy. I just don't like gold. It didn't look that bright and blingy when I bought it online, but it is. So we're going to let that one go. And so let me sum all this up in a minute and show you which ones are being let go. Let's see. A couple Casios, a couple Seikos. Let's see. Anything else? Well, actually, several Seikos, because we got 2 G-Shocks that are going to go away. Yeah. 4 Casios. Wow. All right. So there we have it. This is the group that is basically in limbo that are either placeholders. So we've got the Bulova, going to keep the Orient for now. The other Citizen, we're going to keep that one for now. The Casio, the Homage, the Pagani Homage, the better G-Shock, the Invicta Pro Diver 43, just because I just like it. It's not an expensive watch. It's cheap. It's an Invicta, but it's just a nice looking watch. And then my Ducati watch. So we are going to get rid of these. We're going to get rid of an Invicta, the Bertucci, the Veyer, these two Casios, these two, whatchamacallits, G-Shocks, and the other Seiko. So I'm not just going to give these away to strangers on the internet necessarily, but any of my friends that watch this that are local to me, if you want to watch, come talk to me. Any of those watches I will probably just give you. Or if you wanted to buy me lunch, tell you what, buy me lunch when we go riding or go out for a drive or do something, and you can have a watch. I have the boxes for all of these, I believe, maybe not the Duro, but most of these I have the original boxes and stuff for. I just got to dig them out. But that's what we're going down to. So I got 2 more watch reviews coming. One's going to be the Pagani 1671, I think it is. It's the Black Bay Tudor homage that's supposed to be excellent. Seiko NH35A movement, sapphire glass. Could be a cool watch. And then, of course, I've got the Liv watches. But I'm not telling you which model because it's a wild looking watch. It looks really, really cool. So unless something goes wonky, everybody's been raving about them. We'll see how it looks. But anyway, that is what's going on. That's how we're skinnying down our collection. Going a quick run through. If you haven't watched all my reviews, there's reviews of every single one of these watches on the channel. You can go check it out. But yeah, that's just me yapping for a little bit. Now I'm going to go for a drive, grab some lunch, enjoy the nice weather in the Corvette. I don't know if I'll put the top down because it's like 97 degrees. But that's what's going on in Dave's watch world. We're going to skinny down the collection to the pieces that I just really, really like and wear a lot. And then I'm going to start thinking about what more upscale watches I want to maybe add that could replace some of these. So that's all I got. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. If not, sorry. We'll talk to you later. Bye.